Hopefully I'm not rambling too much here, but I'm just trying to explain why I can watch these 2 points over and over again. It's not just about them hitting offensively and seeing a big shot. I'm trying to put myself in each player's perspective so I can watch it over and over again. I'll watch it once from Federer's point of view. I'll watch it again from Nadal's point of view. I'll watch it from Djokovic's point of view. And every time there's always something that maybe I overlooked, and then I have to go back and rewatch it again, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at the other player a little bit, and then it's continuing to ask more and more questions. Why did it work in this case? Why didn't it work in another case? And in this one, it's really interesting because both of the points are set up from almost identical positions, but the offensive inside-out striker in one point is able to win, and in the other point, they lose. And so when you're looking at the positioning, it's like, why was one player able to win when the other player lost? And the more and more I watch it, there's like pluses and minuses to each side, and you're trying to pay attention to what were the little factors that ended up making a big result in the winning of the point. And that's where, when I'm looking at it, you can see that Federer is actually falling back. It's not really that he's falling back. It's that Federer has a lot more energy going into the inside-out forehand. So even though when I'm watching it and Djokovic still kind of falls back in a certain sense, he's able to set up. So Djokovic really plants his feet, and when he's rotating, I guess his foot kind of moves back. And so does Federer's. But when you're looking at the energy that goes into the shot, Djokovic is planted and then able to recover very quickly, whereas when Federer is doing it, he has a lot of energy going into that. So as he's landing and trying to bounce out of that, he's not able to just explode and get right back into the court. So I'm not sure if that's because Federer's on grass and he doesn't want to slip, but either way, Federer has a ton of experience on grass and he would know exactly what he needs to do to not slip. And given that he's playing against Nadal, he knows that he's playing somebody who can strike quickly against him. So that might be even more reason why Federer shouldn't have done an inside out here, where when you see Djokovic, he hits that inside out and he's able to recover with just one step to get right back into the court. And then Federer, just like Nadal does, he goes down the line. And Djokovic, giving them that better court positioning, he's able to jump right over and strike back and keep Federer on the defense. Where Federer, he has those 2 steps that he needs to get back into the court, and by that time, Nadal's already striking. So even though Federer, he's making contact in basically the same position that Djokovic was making contact in on the shot after the inside out, but in Federer's case, he is on the run trying to save that shot after his inside out, where Djokovic is able to get right over to that ball and play it aggressively. So Federer barely gets to that ball, and Nadal is able to continue on the offense and strike down the line again, where Federer is actually stretched. He barely gets to that ball, where Djokovic is actually not stretched, and he's just able to step into that, pull him off the court, and continue to advance his offensive position. So what does that mean? It means that when you're going to hit your inside out, you need to be aware of what kind of energy or speed you're going into that shot with, because it's going to be throwing you further outside of the court. So you're already giving up a lot of court positioning when you have to step around it instead of hitting the backhand. And then on top of that, if you have any momentum that's going to be pulling your weight more, then you're going to be landing further. And the further that you're landing, the more effort it's going to be to recover. It's not just that you can be offensive with that shot. In these 2 examples, they're actually hitting it right back to each other, which was a green light for both players receiving that inside out ball to go down the line. So they would be less likely to want to do that if that inside out had moved them more aggressively. But especially in that case where the ball goes right back to them, that inside out person needs to factor in the recovery. And so recovery is a lot faster if your weight was not being thrown to the outside and you're able to bounce back. So it doesn't matter what your physical ability level is. Like, you'll get a feel for that yourself, or you already know it. I'm not saying that you're going to play at Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic level, because it's more a factor of knowing yourself. You're running around it, and you need to factor in how quickly you're going to be able to recover. You're giving up that court position. If they see that the court is open and they're moving you over there, you're going to cover that a lot faster and stay on the offense. If you're able to bounce back into the court and be ready for whatever shot comes to you, that's where that moving around it, hitting a big inside out is going to allow you to stay on the offense. And just trying to think about the inside out forehand means that I'm going to be aggressive. It's only part of the equation if you're not factoring in how you're going to be winning after that. Most likely you're not hitting a winner on that shot. You're trying to be offensive and set up the point. And that means factoring in how you're going to deal with the shots after that.